Hi everyone and welcome to NLTI. In this episode, we are going to understand how can you get into National Law University. So if you are a CLAT aspirant or if you're aiming to get into good law schools, this is the video that you actually need to see. This episode is going to break down CLAT 2027 and AILET exam pattern, key dates, eligibility criteria and all the information that you actually need to know. So let's start with CLAT 2027. CLAT stands for Common Law Admission Test and it is the main national level examination to get into national universities. Even though the name is CLAT 2027, but the catch here is that the exam is going to happen in the month of December 2026. So please do not get confused. The year here indicates the academic year and not the year of examination. Examination will happen in 2026, in December 2026. So if you ever hear CLAT 2027, always know that the exam will happen in December 2026. Based on recent years, the registration for this exam usually opens in August and the admit cards are out in the month of November and the exam happens in the first week of December. That is a very rough timeline that you should keep in head. So now let's understand who can actually appear in the exam. So to be eligible for CLAT 2027, you must have passed class 12 or equivalent exam. For most categories, minimum requirement is 45% of marks in class 10 plus 2 and for SC or ST categories, the minimum requirement is 40% marks in class 10 plus 2. If you're a student who's currently in class 12 and your board exams are going to happen next year in 2027, March or April, then also you can appear in December 2026 CLAT exam. And there is no upper age limit for the exam. Let us understand pattern of the CLAT exam. This exam has 120 questions which have to be attempted in 120 minutes. So broadly, you have 1 minute per question. Every correct answer is going to give you 1 mark. Every incorrect answer is going to deduct 0.25 marks. So there is negative marking as well. And this paper is divided into multiple sections. The first section is the English section, which has around 22 to 26 questions. The next section is Current Affairs and GK section, which has around 28 to 32 questions. The next section is the Legal Reasoning section, which also has around 28 to 32 questions. Next section is the Logical Reasoning, which also has 22 to 26 questions. And the last is Quant section, which has around 10 to 14 questions. So what you can understand from this exam pattern is that this is not a memory testing examination. It is more based on how well you can read and reason the exam. So CLAT does not give you any textbooks to read. It does not tell you that you have to study from this book. It does not prescribe you any author or any source. Instead, it tests your abilities. In the English section, it basically checks how well you can read a long and dense comprehension without zoning out and whether you can understand the tone and context of the passage. In the Legal Reasoning section, it basically checks if you can apply the legal principles to the given situations properly or not. In the Logical Reasoning section, it checks how well you can handle arguments, assumptions and conclusions. In the Quant section, it basically tests if you can make sense of numbers under pressure. So what CLAT is actually testing? CLAT is not a memory-based test. It is not checking how many facts you have stored in your mind. Rather, it is checking how well you can think. It is checking if you can read something unfamiliar and can still make sense of it. If you can stay calm when the passage feels dense and complex. If you can avoid jumping to conclusions. And if you can choose the most correct answer and not the answer that you're tempted to choose. That's what this entire exam is about. That's why people who memorize things struggle to crack this exam. Now let's understand about the AILET exam. It is different. AILET is All India Law Entrance Test, which is an examination for NLU Delhi. Unlike CLAT, where you can get access to more than 25 national universities, AILET is an examination exclusively done for just one university, that is National Law University, Delhi. And trust me, it is really competitive. AILET is usually more direct. It is more fact-based, faster, and unlike CLAT, it is not dependent on long comprehensions and passages. CLAT asks you to interpret. AILET asks you to know. If you prepare for CLAT without understanding the difference between these two examinations, then AILET can be brutal for you. So how have to you actually prepare for CLAT and AILET? Let's understand. For CLAT, you need to get comfortable with ambiguity, long passages, indirect questions, close options, and subtle traps. For AILET, you need sharp and quick recall because you do not get as much time to think around the question. If you're aiming for both, then your preparation should include both long and complex passages and quick decision making. Understanding the competition and cutoffs of both the exams. CLAT is highly competitive. Top NLUs usually close somewhere in high 80s and high 90s for general category. And AILET has around 120 seats. This means accuracy matters. Time management matters. Silly mistakes matter. This is not about working harder than everyone else. It is just about working more strategically. So if you're really serious for CLAT 2027, your preparation should not feel like school. You should not be trying to finish piles of study material. Rather, you should be training yourself to read better, think quicker, and act smarter. Read every day and analyze everything that you read. Solve more questions and understand your mistakes. And repeat this throughout your preparation journey. This exam rewards people who understand how it works. And once you understand it, the entire preparation journey and acing this exam will become much more accessible and doable for you. I hope you found this video useful. Stay tuned for more.